Banyarwanda ndetse banyarwandakazi, ndagira ngo mbasabe, turamukunda, ni president w'abanyarwanda, ni president watowe n'abanyarwanda, ni president ubereye u Rwanda, ni president ukunda u Rwanda, ukunda abanyarwanda. Mureke tumuhakanye. Uyu nta wundi ni president Paul Kagame. Ngiye kuguhereza video y'iminota mike, ndagusabye kugira ngo umuhakanya, umutega amatwi. Noneho nyuma ya video ndagaruka tugira ibyo tuganira. Ihangane gato cyane, ntabwo yavuze amagambo atumvikana. Nzi neza ko muri abahanga, nzi neza ko muzi kumva, nzi neza ko mwumva rimwe ariko mugasesengura mukavanamo ibintu byinshi. Rero ndagusabye kugira ngo umwanya iyi video mbonereho no kwinginga babantu muhita musimbukira ku mwanzuro. Ahangaha biragusaba kugenda gake kugira ngo iyi video ugire ikintu uvanamo. Ntutekereze ko ari ngiri cyangwa se ivanjiri ngo dusome niturangira tuvuge duti amina. Oya, urumva ibyo bavuze ugatekereza ugacencura ukavanamo ibizimi bitafite umumaro ukabyihorera. Rero ndagira ngo babantu mwese mwita abandi bizina ntazi, mwigire hino. Inzego zibishinzwe, yaba iz'ubutabera, yaba iz'ubutasi, yaba iz'umutekano n'ibindi, mwigire hino kuri iyi video ndabashaka. Ndagira ngo munzanire ababishoboye bose n'abatabishoboye, babandi bitwa ba Munyakazi Sadati, babandi bitwa ba Nduhungire, bose mubahereze iyi video, mubahereze iyi video. Ni amagambo ya nyir'ubwite umukuru w'igihugu, umuyobozi w'u Rwanda, President Paul Kagame. Ndagira ngo wumve iyo video.
Thank you. Let me begin.
France's leading anti-terrorism judge wants you and some of your key aides to face trial on the accusation that you ordered the shooting down of the plane which was being used by the serving Rwandan president on the 6th of April, 1994. Are you ready to let justice take its course?
I think there can't be justice in that particular case for various reasons. First of all, there is no basis whatsoever on which the people in Rwanda, leaders of Rwanda, people who fought to stop genocide, people who fought against the genocidal government and the forces, to be tried, and moreover be tried by anybody from France, when France is seriously implicated in the genocide of Rwanda. And we are very sure that this judge is not acting in any way within a sound legal basis. Well, this judge is more political than anything else.
I suspected you would counter with charges against France, and we will talk about those. But I just want to remind you of something you said in a BBC interview in February of 2004, when you said, quote, "If anybody wants to investigate me or try me, I have no problem with that." So what's changed?
Yes, if anybody acting on a legal sound basis is what I was talking about. You don't just have anybody coming up with wild allegations and accusing me and accusing I'm the president of Rwanda, I'm a Rwandese. I had a right, I had the basis for getting involved in the armed struggle to liberate my country from Habyarimana, from the government he was leading. I've been a refugee outside Rwanda for 30 years.
But you didn't have a right to shoot down his plane and to assassinate him.
Well, I had a right to fight for my rights.
But do you believe you had a right to assassinate him?
No. But of course, Habyarimana, having been on the other side that I was fighting, it was possible that he could easily die. Imagine if I had died myself in the same process. Would the same judge be asking about my death, about who killed me?
But
so I'm saying this is a situation where there was a war that was being fought. But this has nothing to do now with who actually killed Habyarimana yet. I'm not even coming to that. I'm only saying, is it even surprising that somebody involved in a war can die? But does that also mean that you simply bring up wild allegations against
me? Sorry to interrupt, but you were involved in a peace negotiation with him at the time.
Yeah.
The RPF was talking to him.
Yes, and the genocide happened well after that as well. We had a genocide.
You call them wild allegations, but of course you know that they're not wild allegations. You know that Judge Jean-Louis Bruguière has been working on this case for many, many years. You also know he's one of the most respected judges in all of France. That he has a track record of tracking down terrorists, bringing them to justice. He's been working on your case, and he has, and I have it here, about 70 pages of documentary evidence pointing to your guilt.
It's 70 pages of trash, of nothing, and I show that. Look at the people he's talking about, he talked to, that he got testimonies from. Almost all of them are people who are indicted by International Criminal Tribunal for Rwanda. People who, in fact, are wanted by the tribunal, but they can't have access to them, or they can't get hold of them. Yet the judge has access to them because they enjoy protection. In France,
Judge Bruguière comes up with this conclusion. The final order to attack the presidential plane was given by Paul Kagame himself during a meeting held in Mulindi on March the 31st, 1994.
But that represents absolutely nothing. First of all, the judge wants to bring out this incident as having been responsible for the genocide. But the judge, the French, the people of UN, everybody knows that there were months of preparations for the genocide. They bought arms, they trained people, they got arms from France, money paid by French government to the government of Habyarimana to prepare for the genocide. This has nothing to do with aircraft, even if we are talking about the assassination of Habyarimana, bringing down the aircraft. It has nothing to do with that. It's a nonsense, absolutely
Why
nonsense.
not bow to the wish of Judge Bruguière and have your case tested at the International Tribunal on Rwanda?
I can't bow to the wishes of Judge Bruguière, a French acting politically with France having had a genocide in Rwanda. Never.
As you know, Judge Bruguière denies absolutely any political involvement. He is an investigative judge who specializes in anti-terrorism.
Why doesn't he investigate?
Not controlled by the French government.
Why doesn't he investigate about the genocide and the involvement of French officers, armed officers, and the government officials in the genocide of Rwanda? If he's credible.
I want to pick up that point very soon, but before we finish on your position, as a result of
my position is very simple.
Why do you not?
Yes.
Because you're so confident of your innocence.
I am very confident.
Why do you not bow to his command to have the case tested in an international court of law?
I'm confident for various reasons.
No, I understand your confidence. My question is simple. Why not accede to his wish to have the case tested?
There are even issues of principles here. The French judge has no right to judge me in my own situation in Rwanda.
He's not saying he wants to judge you, he's saying he wants to see you before an international tribunal.
Yes. First of all, why fabricate stories?
I say that Rwanda cannot move on until the real responsibility for the assassination of the president of your country in 1994 is established. To establish it, you need...
Yes, the other aspect then is that one. First of all, I'm not responsible for Habyarimana's death, and I don't care. I wasn't responsible for his security. He wasn't responsible for mine either. And he wouldn't have cared if I had died. I don't care that it happened to him. I was fighting that government. The government that made me a refugee for all those years, for which I had a right to fight back. And the judge wants to ask me why.
But my question was simply this: how can Rwanda move on and move forward until the truth has been established?
It is moving on irrespective of not knowing who killed Habyarimana, because it is not such a big problem as it is a problem for Rwanda to have lost 1 million people in a genocide in which France is indicted and this judge is silent about. So France, Bruguière, have no right whatsoever to be making such a nonsense of our situation. And our people in Rwanda are making headway, they are rebuilding their lives, they are moving forward. I'm their leader, they elected me, and it is nonsense.
You talk about...
Okay. Avuze amagambo menshi. Abatabyumvishe ndabasaba kunyihangana. ariko mbere na mbere ndagira ngo wowe undeba uri mu cyo mwita FDR ukaba uhari ibya nyabyo ukaba ukurikirana Aristide, uyu ni wo mwanya kugira ngo mufate umwanzuro. Uyu ni wo mwanya kugira ngo mufate decision, mumenye kuko niba muzapfira mu mashyamba nk'uko bahora babibacyurira cyangwa niba mugomba gutaha. Impamvu mbivuze ni iyi: iyi interview ni ndende ariko navanyeho gace k'iminota 7 kuko byarambirana. Ni ibintu byinshi gusa biryoheye amatwi, ubaye ushaka kumva no kumenya ukuri ku byo mwe mubeshya. Mugiye kujya mu gihe cy'ukwa kane, igihe kigoye ku banyarwanda ku isi hose, ariko mumenye impamvu kimujyayo. Ubwe muri interview yivugiye ngo yari arimo arwana na Habyarimana, bararasa, they were fighting. Rero ngo bikamutangaza kuba niba abantu babiri bari kurwana, kumva ngo umwe yapfuye mukabigira ibintu bya danje. Ariko nkakwibutsa ko nta ntambara Habyarimana yigeze akora. Habyarimana ntiyigeze arwana, yarashwe for the first time. By the first time niwe muntu wa mbere isasu ryarashe avuye mu nama. Ntabwo yaravuye kurwana, ntiyaravuye kugura imbunda, just baramurashe ku bwa target yabo. Ariko uyu we ababwiye muri interview ko bari barimo barwana one on one. Rero nawe agira ubwo avuga ati either yari kuba ngiye upfa cyangwa we agapfa. Ati rero kuba umwe muri twe yarapfe kandi twarwanaga nta bishyashya birimo. Ibyo ntabwo ari byo nshaka gutindaho. Icya kabiri aravuze ngo ni gute umuntu wamugize impunzi, who made him a refugee, who made him a refugee, ujya umubwira ngo ntabwo yemereye kumurwanya. Umuntu waguteye ubuhunzi ni gute utamurwanya? Ni gute utarwanira uburenganzira bwawe ku gihugu cyawe? None nurangiza ngo abacamanza ngo baze kumucira imanza ngo kuko ngo yishe umuntu wamugize impunzi. Uri kumva amagambo avuze ukuntu akomeye. FDR bikabasobanurira iki? Mufite uburenganzira bwo kurwanirira igihugu cyawe, kereka niba mwaradamaraye nk'uko bivugwa, kereka niba mwaragize mu birombe nk'uko bivugwa, kereka niba kuko nta bushobozi mufite nabyo birangire abantu babimenye. Ariko niba mugifite imbaraga mwiteguye gutaha mu Rwanda, nta muntu mufite uburenganzira bwo gusaba uburenganzira bwo gutaha iwanyu. No one. Kuko mwagizwe impunzi, mugirwa impunzi n'uyu ngo uri kubyivugira imbona nkubone. Ubwo aramubwira turi tayari kujya mu nkiko, aravuga ati ntubwire n'iby'inkiko, ngewe sinzajya mu nkiko. Nabo batinya inkiko kubw'amakosa bakoze. Baramubwira ati uriteguye? Avuga ati ngewe ntabwo najya mu nkiko, narwaniraga uburenganzira bwanjye, narwaniraga kwishyira kwizana kwanjye. Which means ntabwo yakurwaniye wowe. Ndakubwiza ukuri, ntabwo Kagame yigeze arwanira umuntu wari we n'umwe wese mu gihugu cy'u Rwanda. Kuko iyo bigezaho aha facing ubucamanza, avana y'inzara agasobanura, nta na rimwe ajya mentioninga ngo yarwandiye ngo ubwoko bw'abatutsi. No, don't. Avuga ku giti cye kuko yagizwe impunzi. Avandi nanjye nabaye impunzi, ariko ibuka ko mu gihugu cy'u Rwanda harimo abatutsi kandi batabaye impunzi. Rero ibyo ni ukubabeshya, n'uburyo bwo kubahinjarika. Mwebwe mukumva ko muri kumwe muri groupe kandi uyu mugabo yarwanaga ku giti cye. Reka mbabwire nti rero Uwiteka abane namwe kandi abarinde. Nimushaka kumva muzumva, ariko uri mudashaka kumva mugomeze gutyo. Bye bye.